Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Episode 78,
We're here coming to you live.
the Best of Rivals podcast.
Yes, sirski.
It's me, Jordon J. Will.
And Todd, your favorite Liverpool fan. The only one you know.
Bro, how you doing first off, dog? Let's get to it.
Well, I'm doing good. It's breakup with Jurgen Klopp has started to sink in a little bit, and it's starting to come to a realization of where we are and where we are going forward. And I think it makes things easier compared to, kind of falling short at the very end. There's a little less heartbreak when it happens earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how about you?
It's a lot to digest recently. First off, me personally, I'm doing pretty good. Trying to improve every day. Got the podcast going again, so that's very exciting.
Yes.
Getting to work with you. And then we pan to Man United. A lot of moves going on. We'll dig a little deep later on, right? But I'll give a little glimpse in of what I'm talking about. I'm losing players. A lot of my favorite players, won't be a part of the club anymore. Martial's leaving.
Gotta go.
Greenwood won't be coming back.
Gotta go.
Sancho not coming back.
I'm sure you wish he didn't go.
So it's a lot going on. Like I said, lots to digest. And then, the Ten Hag situation, he's coming back. It is decided now. Sir Ratcliffe has chose Ten Hag to be the man again. How I feel about that, like I said, I'm not gonna give too much, but we're here.
We are here, and I'm excited to get started. So let's just go right into it with this Prem recap, if we shall.
Of course.
Going into this, how do you feel about the new season? I know this, the season ended early. We'll be starting off, but you won the FA Cup, and so you got to look at the whole situation differently now that you find yourself in Europa League next year, right? FA Cup winners, keeping Ten Hag on, and you're in Europe. How do you feel?
Well, titles, right? That's what Man United is. That's what we do. So I'm not gonna denounce or take away from what we did do and what we accomplished beating Man City, the Premier League champions, right? Three-peat, crazy, history. Give it to them. I don't care about the oil money. Give it to them, right? Yeah, shouts to them. But I'm also one to be a realist and say, like, that's gonna cloud judgment. And the team that we have right now, the club that we have, isn't good enough. Players need to leave. We need to get more players. We have not developed enough. So don't let
the most pessimistic.
No, because my standards are different, bro. Like, don't let this title fool you. What are we playing for here? FA Cups or Premier Leagues and Champion Leagues?
Your standard, as much as I respect you wanting to keep a high standard because of your history, you need to look at the now. You're not at a point where you can actually consider yourself Premier League ready. I don't care how much you've spent. You've got to look at it as new. You decide to keep Ten Hag, and there's a lot of positive points going forward. You got a lot of gems. Højlund's a gem. Mainu's a gem. Garnacho, gem to some. I think he's good. I think he's a little overrated, but overall, you are in Europe. You got another trophy in the case. I would actually say the future is brighter at Man U right now than Tottenham. And I wasn't speaking like that earlier. I'll fully admit.
Yeah.
But I guess when I look at things, do you feel like it's just a step in the wrong direction because you won this? Now you feel almost like you have to keep Ten Hag. How do you fire a guy who just got you FA Cup and now Europa League? But I know you don't like the system. I know you don't like the way the football is played. Do you think this is just a slowing of being able to move forward in the future?
Well, yeah. We're looking at like Chelsea, for example.
Yeah.
Tuchel won them a Champions League, and then they fired him basically the next season because it wasn't good enough, right? Ten Hag, in the same way, same thing. He has taken a very shitty Man United club who has been nothing but bullshit, right? From day one with everybody. We had the greatest player to grace this planet and Cristiano Ronaldo.
You got to let that go.
Play at the club.
You got to let it go.
I don't know. No, there's no letting that go. It was disrespect, bro. It was disrespect. And the squad that they had, the talent that they had, we didn't do enough. I'm sorry, right? I'm taking into account all these things. Falco coming over, didn't do a thing. Fucking Arsenal. Why am I blanking out? Winger. Didn't pan out at all. You know what I'm talking about. Alexis Sanchez.
Bro, I was like, how bad it was. I actually forgot.
Yeah, I was like, it's gonna ring a bell. Alexis Sanchez didn't pan out, right? Yeah. Memphis Depay didn't pan out. Yeah. Now Jadon Sancho didn't pan out. Yeah. That come on, let's be real. It's not that these players aren't good enough. It's what's happening at Man United. And so many managers have called it out. Mourinho has came and talked about it in the postseason, saying, hey, look at what Ten Hag is doing. Maybe his approach isn't too, it's not the best. He might need to switch some things up. That's all I'm saying, right? So look at the structure, and hopefully with this new ownership and the identity and the direction we're trying to move, things will kind of become clearer.
You're
but
so glass half empty, bro.
What do you mean?
Sorry. If I was a Man U fan, thank God I'm not. But if I was, I'd be looking. As a Liverpool fan, I will fully admit that I constantly try to find the positives. Even when we had those shit Warrior years or those terrible, terrible Warrior years, even, some of those New Balance years, right? I still tried to find the positive when you look forward. With this Man U team, Kobbie Mainoo is now most likely to start in England's starting 11. Garnacho is solid. He has a very solid season, and at his age, it is actually pretty impressive. Truthfully, I don't know how long that will last. Højlund is great, and you're still Man U with money.
Like I said,
it was worse. It was worse. You guys had darker times before. Do you not at least see the light at the end of the tunnel? Not with Ten Hag?
TBD. That's all I'm going to say. And we can keep it moving because outside of Man United, we weren't, a major topic. We shouldn't be, at least, right? Because look at the stats. Just keeping it real with you. Man City, like I said, 3-peat.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What does it mean for you real quick? Because I don't want to talk about the Premier League all the time.
No,
we got something else coming up.
I got to see how this all ends up with the financial situations with the charges they have in front of them. As a Liverpool fan, I'm always going to feel a little scorned about how we barely missed, and now they might get in trouble later on when it doesn't really matter. I see Everton and Nottingham Forest get punished with point deductions, but nothing seems to happen to Manchester City or Chelsea. And it's a little infuriating.
You know why?
As much as I have to say, take all that aside and just looking at football, it's brilliant, historical, some of the best football of the modern era. It will be remembered. If you did a history book on football, people would talk about Pep's system at Barcelona.
Yeah.
And now they'll talk about Pep's system at Manchester City. He has created a dynasty. It is that. It is a dynasty. And I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I really do. But is it wrong to say it wasn't that surprising? I said from the beginning I didn't see Arsenal getting this. I'm sorry, Arsenal fans.
That's what it is. Look at the pool. Look at the contending teams and clubs, right? Yeah. It was Arsenal and then maybe Liverpool. And at some point, you guys had a nice push for it, and you lost it. I don't know what it was.
Again, though,
but you choked. You choked as well. You choked.
We did.
You choked.
But like I said, we choked early, and it made it so that it made the whole season a little bit more relaxed. Arsenal fans were on the edge of their seats,
Yeah.
really thinking that they had a chance. And I feel bad. I really do, because as a Liverpool fan, we've been there so often.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't that surprised with Manchester City. They're a system. And every time when we get into the business days, into the final games of the season, the last 10, 15, they turn it on, and they did it again. Shout out to Phil Foden. Shout out to Rodri. Because Holland at the end there was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
And they still got it done. And that's shout out to Pep. Personally, after all that, as much as Manchester City were impressive, looking at the rest of the Premier League, I actually would say that my most disappointment goes out to Chelsea fans. You win how many games on the spin, and then you decide after everything to let Pochettino go, right when we're starting to see some positives.
Are you surprised though? This is what it is with Chelsea, bro. They are so.
Do they not read what critics say? Do they not?
They don't
consider?
care. So you said I'm like, my standards are crazy, right? Chelsea is times 20. They will sack a manager. They will bench a player, right? Lukaku, still a Chelsea player, right?
Barely. For now.
Do you feel me? Blackball you, basically, because you don't fit their standards. So for me, I understand what you're saying. Poach coming in, kind of finding an identity with them. They're winning at the end, right? Players are finding their way, it seems like, kind of clicking.
It didn't seem to, like, the energy, there's not a lot of importance to these games at the end there. And so when the pressure is off and they did well, that's good. But when you let go of Pochettino like this, it seems to give off like he was always going to be an interim. So when you see this new manager, is this just going to be a same thing? Are we just going to see the same cycle? It's just going to be recycled again?
Ten Hag's little brother?
It's the year of the bald boys.
Year of the bald boys.
Year of the bald boys, yeah. Arne Slot's joining as well. I just got to say, though,
speaking of that, you guys, nice transition. I like that, baby.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah. So I, truthfully, before even hearing about Arne Slot going over to Liverpool, hadn't watched much of any of the Dutch league.
Okay.
So then, you know what? I decided to just watch highlight reels. I know it doesn't really count for everything.
It's valid.
But he plays a really, really, really pretty brand of football.
Okay.
He really does. And I don't know what this means on what players he's going to want to keep. Personally, I want to see Darwin Núñez succeed. I see the talent through the roof. If we can just hone in and kind of, fix some of the rough edges, I think he could still be a top striker. I'm excited to see, but I really don't know what it holds going forward. So when we talk about the new season, your guess is as good as mine.
All right. First things first, let that love that you have for Darwin, let it go. He's a bum.
No, I won't hear of it. You can't love Martial the way you do.
I'm sorry.
And then
they set it up so nicely for him, bro. And he didn't do anything with it. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, no, but I'll keep it real with you right now. There are a lot of players that are often late bloomers. And I look at Darwin Núñez, and what I see about him is a lot of striker syndrome. I know in my personal experience, I was better when I was more confident. When you're on the ball and you feel like you already could beat that next player on, and it's flowing when he plays for Uruguay. He's so good for the national team. I know when his confidence is on, he can finish and he can be great. But toxic Liverpool fans and opposing fans clearly get under his skin. And you got to have thick skin as a striker.
That's something I've always said about him. He needs to mature as a player, right? Because we know the fans don't give a fuck. Pardon my English, right? But they don't. Look at Vinny, for example.
As young as he is, though, why not just run Darwin at least another season? I got to see what Arne Slot can do with Darwin Núñez. Does he build around him? Does he work with Gakpo? What kind of system are we going to see? Yeah. Who's going to even stick around?
That's why it's very interesting, right? I'm hoping that you guys don't do a thing. I'm hoping it's like the Chelsea period. You're trying to find your way. maybe we might get rid of this player. Is it time for we ship Trent? Like that situation. That's what I'm ready for.
Oh my gosh, this nonsense. First off, Trent is proper, and honestly, future captain. In my opinion,
we're gonna see in the Euros what he does.
Class in the midfield. He'll be class. If it was up to me and I was Gareth Southgate, my midfield is Kobbie Mainoo, Jude Bellingham, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Or, no, you know what? Scratch that. Sorry. Your boy sits. He's young. Declan Rice has to start.
So
Declan Rice is too good. He has to start. In the modern game, you need a defensive midfielder of his talents. He's got to start.
So prior to that, you mentioned Jude. And I only single out Jude because he just won a Champions League with Real Madrid.
Yes, sir.
And they just got Mbappe. I'm throwing that in too. On the icing on the cake, they got Mbappe. What does this mean, bro?
It's Durant. This gives off Kevin Durant vibes. What does this mean? It means for about the next 10 years, every Champions League campaign, Real Madrid will always be in a running position to be considered a title contender.
That's a given. That's what they've always done, right? But at this point, we need to change the standard. I'm saying it on this podcast, on this episode right now. It shouldn't just be that Madrid's going to win next year. I need to see at least 3 or 4 Champions Leagues with this squad that Mbappe has. That's the standard I'm saying right now. And in the next 5 years, Madrid needs 3 Champions Leagues, at least 3. That's the standard. We're changing it.
I actually, as much as I want to disagree with you, I can't. I think what's interesting about teams like this, and we see this with super teams all across sports, is what happens. You see the super team, the buzz comes alive, the hype gets real, and then the standard is so high that it's almost impossible to succeed. We just saw a super team that we thought was going to dominate in PSG a couple years ago when you had Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. How'd that go?
I mean,
not great.
At that point, though, like PSG is just a club that doesn't understand the game enough. They're going to buy. They're like Chelsea. They're going to buy.
Other than Man City, though, the thing is who can actually stop Real Madrid unless some absolute wild things happen, which is the Champions League. Anything's possible, right? But you're right. They should win most games just on the depth. But that's including form and everything.
Yeah. No, 100%. I don't know. They, like I said, the standard has changed, and if they don't win, while Mbappe's there, because I don't know if anyone saw it or heard, but in his interview, announcing he's going to Madrid and everything, he said, "I'm going to be there for at least 5 years."
Yeah.
What he said, I'm going to be there for at least 5 years. So he may be going elsewhere. So that's why I cap it out at 5 years. I need to see 3. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's actually reasonable. I think that's more than reasonable.
And we'll see. We'll talk about La Liga in the future, right?
But what do they do? Big stuff. Now to the main course.
This is.
I've been looking forward to this.
I mean, this is why this game is so beautiful, right? You in one league and then you join something else, and we're talking about the Euros, 2024.
Yeah,
it came out of nowhere. I feel like the World Cup just passed, and now we're in the Euros.
So weird.
And then we're going to be in the World Cup.
In the winter.
This is how
World Cup in the U.S. I'm saving already.
Hey, we'll get to that. But
I'll see you there.
Euros.
Yes.
We're here. We're recording this before the first game, but once this drops, tournament will be going on. We'll be in a group stage. What are you thinking when it comes to the big 3? And I say the big 3 because that's just like the Cole, Kendrick, Drizzy. Big 3, right?
Oh my God, I will not have it.
Who are your big 3 nations, countries coming to the Euros that you're saying you got to watch out for them? they're going to take it.
So I personally want to see England thrive. I think that this team is so good on paper that they have the talent to do it.
Yeah.
I think Southgate picked a team. I think Southgate picked a very good team, truthfully. He sat players that he felt wouldn't be as usable. I do think it looks a little thin on the defensive end, especially at left back. As far as I'm aware, Luke Shaw is the only registered left back.
And he's been battling injuries all year, all season. So see how that goes.
But then I also have a lot of love for Portugal. And when you want to talk about on paper, this is another one of those years where you look across the entirety of the team and the defensive end, solid, Cancelo, Diaz. And then you look forward into the midfield with Bruno Fernandes. And then the attacking, you've got Jota, Rafael Leao, Cristiano. This is possibly the last dance. Portugal's going to have to make a run for this heavy. And they've won before. They could do it again.
So England, Portugal.
That last one is really up for anybody. France. I think if we're talking about top 3 and you don't put France in, especially just looking at what they've done already with winning a World Cup, getting to a World Cup final again, and then just being stopped by Argentina. When we're looking at at the Euros and there's no Argentina, there's no Brazil, there's just European teams, I think France automatically land into the top 3. Respectfully.
I mean, yeah. I mean, France is a given, right? I think just going strictly off of talent and the fact that the French team, they're not even French. Like, I don't want to say, but they're not French. Most of those players are African, or they have heritage, from that country in Africa. Like, let's keep it a bean. So the French team is just like Golden State. It's like the Dodgers, it's the LA Rams when they had Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey winning the Super Bowl. It's that stature. So I think they're always going to be there. England, the same sense. I agree with you with right there. Talent wise, looking at on the paper, Gareth Southgate probably made the best selection of his career so far. We're always big on him when it comes to who he's picking, right? Mason Mount, Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford.
All gone. Trimming the fat.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
It's just major. It's just big time decisions. And then he's bringing in the young talent like Kabi, right? Where a lot of people are saying this could be too much for him because we saw what that was with Saka, Sancho, and then Rashford, Euros, missing the PKs.
Yeah.
Right? We saw what that did to them and how that affected them. But he's saying, hey, I trust this young guy enough to come in, to be composed, and say, I'm going to help lead the team to a title, potentially. I think that says a lot.
But does he start?
No, he doesn't start.
Okay.
Wait. Let me.
Does he start?
That's why I said
Declan Rice is a must.
Yes, I agree.
We know this.
Jude
Bellingham is a must. So that final spot, because I'm assuming that Phil Foden plays on the wing.
So you tell him
if Phil Foden doesn't play on the wing, he's playing in the midfield. But if Phil Foden doesn't start, then that would be a travesty.
Cole Palmer doesn't have a say.
Cole Palmer does not start in my team. Positionally, I'd prefer Phil Foden on the right wing over Cole Palmer. I'd prefer Harry Kane up front over Cole Palmer, respectfully.
Yeah.
And Cole Palmer doesn't feel right on the left wing.
Yeah.
And so if we're talking about him as a cam, I prefer to see Jude Bellingham at the cam and then Declan Rice at the center defensive mid.
Yeah.
And that final spot, I don't want it to be a second cam for Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
I don't. And that's just preference to me. I am biased. I go with Trent Alexander-Arnold. He can change a game with one pass or a shot. You got a set piece specialist.
You're doing all this raving about England right now, and while I do agree that they have a good team on paper, right?
They're a favorite. I'd put them top 3 favorite.
I think about it now, bro. I disagree.
Oh boy,
France, Portugal,
right? Who's at 3?
Germany.
Yeah, that was the other one on my mind as the host nation. But do you have belief in that front line, Fulkrug? Do you really believe in that enough to look at that? The youngins though, Wirtz and Musiala.
I mean, Wirtz is he had amazing season.
Yes, of course.
Phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
And then you said Musiala.
Yeah.
You got Sane. Kimmich, right?
Class all around.
So I think the thing with Germany is they're not.
It's Kroos's last dance too.
It is. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Kroos not playing, right? I think he's done international wise.
No, he's in.
He's in?
Yeah.
So you got a lot to play for, right? But like I was saying, I don't think they're that much. They don't need a number 9 to produce. That's what they're aiming at. The surrounding elements they have on that squad can do well enough for them to win. And I think that's the case. I don't look in the Euros right now and look at a striker that like makes me frightened. Mbappe, but I think he's looking.
So you don't think Kai Havertz could kind of run that false 9 role like we saw at Arsenal? At the end there, he kind of sparked up a little bit. I'm still not a complete believer on everything, but I gotta say, internationally he does well and he shows up in the big moments.
And then Nagelsmann, right, leading charge now. So it's interesting you bring up Kai. He had a revival of a career when Arteta kind of woke him up with Arsenal.
His agent was a very smart man to take that move.
Does he, like you said, does he wake up with Germany now? I don't.
Yeah. I think Kai Havertz should feel a lot of confidence right now. I think it wasn't his fault that Arsenal didn't, win the title.
Yeah.
And
of course not.
I think he actually, on numbers, he performed pretty well. He's still
goals.
young, and there's still a lot of talent there. And there's a lot of talent around him. I mean, Florian Wirtz is going to shine. Musiala is going to shine. It's going to be a great. I think it's going to be a great tournament for Germany as well. As a host nation, it's going to be comfortable.
That's what's going to push them, I think. Right.
Yeah.
Right. How would you feel knowing that on Royce's last outing, on Kroos's last outing in Germany, you guys blew it?
No, you know what?
That push is going to be different.
It depends to who, because Kroos is class, but he can't be the only piece.
No, of course not.
But if they lost to France,
but
I don't think you feel that bad. But it just depends how it goes.
Toddy, what has been the ongoing, criticism of Germany with these past tournaments? They don't have leadership or guidance when it comes to these youngsters, right? There's no direction. You have 2 vets and Marco Reus and Toni Kroos. Who should lead that and be that voice saying, hey, this is what we do in this instance?
Reus is not even going to start. And Kroos is old. We'll have to see. I mean, truthfully, if I was a Germany fan, yes, of course, I'd like to think that they have a run for it. Yeah. But on paper, I don't think it's enough, especially on the defensive end. But then I say that, but then I look at England, and you got to wonder.
What? I think
defensively have a little bit of thin ranks. I mean, Joe Gomez is going to have to be their backup left back, if not their starter.
Yeah.
So,
what team has the most pressure heading to the Euros?
Probably Germany or France. Honestly, because France, because of the pedigree of what they've done and how far they've gone in other tournaments, France is expected to be a top 3 pick for most people. Germany's the host nation. But I think there's a lot of pressure on Portugal. There's always pressure on Cristiano Ronaldo. And if this is his final dance...
At this point in his career, it shouldn't be. You'd be crazy as hell to say you're expecting Cristiano to win a Euro, right?
I think he handles the pressure, but I think there's always going to be pressure. because of the fact that Messi has the World Cup. He wants to still be in the conversation, and to do that, this Euro matters.
Don't you bring up that? I'm not even gonna say it
I know,
because my history of Messi is a little messy. No pun intended, but I can't, bro. Like, I understand what you're saying. Yes, Messi did win with Argentina the World Cup.
Yeah.
So Cristiano should do it with Portugal. That team he has surrounded him, that talent. Bruno's coming in really hot right now. But I don't think that's a team that has pressure. I look at a team that I think a lot of people aren't even thinking of like that. But for some strange reason for me, like, I don't know. They
what, Italy?
No.
England?
No.
Who?
It's Italy.
Who?
No.
Who?
Who's the other big club? Well, I mean, nation. Think of it. They used to produce in the past.
Spain.
There you go.
Nah.
I say them. I only say them.
I got so many injuries. There's
no,
Gavi.
stop.
Got Morata possibly.
Here we go.
Up front.
Here we go.
Yuck.
The excuses. We talk about the all-time greats, right? People who are there, the clubs who were there. Spain was just like Germany. So that same criticism they've been receiving, Spain needs to receive it too. They have all these golden boys, right? But injuries and no. If you're producing talent from a country that's supposed to be one of the best and the greatest, I don't want to hear that, bro. That's excuses.
They do have the pressure because that is a very tough group. That is a very tough group. There's Italy in that group. There is Spain. There's one for Croatia,
who's always going to be
and Albania. So Croatia could surprise. Spain could disappoint. But I don't think there's a lot of people who look at Spain and actually believe that that's likely to be France.
No.
Or
here's the thing. When I say pressure, I'm not saying that Spain should go win the Euros, but I need to see progress. I need to look at Spain and say, oh, that's where we're going to be headed in the next 8 years. Oh, that's where we're going to be at the next World Cup. I look at them when they play, and I can't tell.
Morphing, though, because there's a lot of youth that's not able to play. I think Pedri and Gavi would usually be starting in this team when the time is right. But then striker options, I think, on the wing, you're going to have Yamal, who's so young. Now.
That's their Messi. That's their Messi. This is what I'm saying. Let's stop it. The Spanish love just glorifying, hyping up everybody, saying they're next up, right? So let me see some noise. Show me something.
For his age, he is fantastic. Right. But to be honest,
hey, Endrick. That's all I gotta say.
He's not there. He's not at the Euros. It doesn't matter.
No. I'm saying he's gonna be better. He's a better youngster. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Madrid.
We're not. We don't have time for that. We go for days on that. That's not true,
but no, yeah. I mean, that's what I was getting at with like pressure, right? That's why I would say Spain, because I think the easy answer is to say England, right? Obviously, Southgate coming in. What are you gonna do again? Yeah. Are you gonna show us something? But that's the easy way. I'm talking about the nation that has been there, that hasn't done anything, and people aren't talking about it. Like that's all I'm saying.
I just think the pressure,
and I got beef with La Liga too, so they don't like me, I don't like them, so I got to speak on them.
Just mad they got Greenwood.
Got you there.
Hey.
But besides that one, I would also like to know from you, at least right now, if you have an idea.
Yeah.
Who's your dark horse? We named the big three. We named the country that's probably the most under pressure right now. Who's that country that's under the radar that we aren't talking about?
Got to really put some thinking behind this.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I really don't believe in any dark horses to actually push too far. I'm pretty bland with my picks on where I think it's going to land.
Yeah.
Croatia. They always surprise. And they fight hard for their country.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. You can't argue with that one. Croatia comes every year, right?
Yeah.
And as long as you Luka Modric losing that charge. I don't ever see them not being a threat. Let me see though. We're in Germany, right?
But is that is Germany really a dark horse?
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. A team that I think they also have a lot to prove, right? The Dutch.
I don't like their attacking options.
One of your guys. You don't think Gakpo is going to be good enough to?
I don't think Gakpo is the only piece. You're going to have more.
Oh, 100%.
Xavi Simons hopefully steps up to the plate, and Gakpo will be great like he was during the World Cup. He had a very good World Cup. But
dark horse wise though, right? Look
not
at
enough.
Look at them in the past
Not
World.
enough.
Look at them in the past World Cup. How far did they go?
But now they have injuries. There's no Frankie de Jong. There's no Frankie de Jong on the team. We've got major. You see major injuries around that team. As much as I'd love to see Virgil take the Dutch side far, no, not this year.
So that's you don't think they're?
I don't think they have enough.
This is just dark horse though. I'm not saying winning.
I get it.
Yeah,
I
you feel me?
understand.
Yeah. This is
but
maybe making some noise potentially.
Quarterfinals, maybe.
Okay. All right. I mean, we'll see. Because I think with not the World Cup, the Euros, any major tournament, right? What is a dark horse? Because it's really just like which club can shrink enough games, right, and be good enough to move forward. It's not, this club came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's never that, and not in my opinion. Because you look at the countries who have made some noise, they have good enough players, and they gel at the right moment, just like March Madness.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess the Dutch have overall a compact team, but again, not enough talent there. It's how I feel about Italy. It's how I feel about Spain. It's how I feel about the Dutch.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like enough when I look at the other teams like England, France, Portugal. They stand out a little bit more. And then you have your classic disappointments like Belgium, who you'd think would be more impressive.
I mean, no one's expecting anything with Belgium this year. You got old ass KDB.
Seem very difficult. Okay, but Kevin De Bruyne is still class.
Eden Hazard is not there anymore.
No. But you do have Trossard on form.
Is okay?
He was clutch.
Okay.
He was clutch.
Okay. Lukaku, right? Oof. Don't do that.
Can't be enough. That's and that's why they're likely to disappoint.
Stop.
And that's why they're likely to disappoint.
The disrespect that Romelu has gotten from everyone, including Man United fans, right? The treatment has been downright blasphemous. Bless you, my brother. Crazy. He produces, bro. Look at the stats. Go look at the numbers.
Yeah,
and then get back to me. Get back to me. So they want to say that his first touch is ass, and that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him as a number 9. What are we talking about with Haaland? The same thing, right? But he produces. So cut it out. I hear you though.
Oh my goodness. All right. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When we're now going into the point where after the Euros, we're going to be talking about the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, before you tell me yours, is that if the Euros were to not happen and no Copa America, I think this is about to be going to Vinny. I think Vinicius takes the Ballon d'Or this year. However, let me ask you this. Depending on how things go, does Jude Bellingham stand a chance of being able to take it? Does anybody else?
I like this one.
Speak your truth.
This award is obviously very political. And if you have a good brand behind you, you typically will win, the final say so.
Yes.
And I look in the past, Lewandowski didn't get the award when he should have. Some BS. Messi stole one from Holland because he won a World Cup, but Holland won the Champions League and the Premier League, and he was the Golden Boot. Right?
Hold me back.
Exactly. So you said that Vinny right now has it, correct?
I think so.
Yes.
I think it's Vinny's to lose.
Right.
But if Jude Bellingham...
Yes. What do both of those players have in common?
Real Madrid.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you win the Champions League, you win La Liga, and you're Real Madrid at that. You're already pushing the agenda. So I think it's going to be Jude. And I agree with you saying that Vinny is probably the front runner right now. But depending on how far England goes in this tournament, I'm gonna go as far to say they don't even have to win the tournament for Jude to
win. That's where we don't agree anymore.
See?
That's where we don't agree.
If they get to the
only way, in my opinion, the only way Jude can get that is if they win. He's had an amazing season, but I think this goes to Vinicius right now. Scored in another Champions League final, by the way, and I know Jude assisted.
So if Jude is, co-leader and goes in the tournament, he's number 2 or number 3 in chances created and assists.
Yeah,
and England gets to the finals and they lose on PKs.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you this situation, right? It happens. We've seen football before. The craziest things. France, Argentina, the final. What happened with that?
if England win,
Tell me. Come on.
Jude
be real with me.
Bellingham will get it. But if England don't win,
You don't think so?
no.
Okay. So, but
Yeah.
we will say that it's Jude and Vinny, right?
I think Vinicius first, Jude second, and then you could have yourself a little throw around between Harry Kane,
Stop it.
Mbappe,
Stop it.
and
You better
as
say
much
his
as
name.
I want to say
You better-
Ronaldo.
That's it. That's the one. Let's keep it real. We're talking about sleeper teams.
I love Cristiano Ronaldo.
Stop.
But
Stop.
he plays in
No,
Saudi Arabia. bro.
no.
I
Which-
don't think
Was he-
this is just
Was
me
he
being
not the
honest.
leading goal scorer?
Congratulations, but at the
What-
end
what
of
are
the
we playing
day,
for
this
here?
is in Saudi Arabia. We're talking about the Ballon d'Or, and as much as I hate to say it, I don't believe that the Ballon d'Or is ever going to get handed to someone who plays outside of Europe. Messi got it before Inter Miami, and winning the World Cup certainly helped, obviously. But why are we not talking about Messi now? He's doing great for Inter Miami, but we're not discussing him onto the Ballon d'Or. Why?
So if Cristiano,
Because nobody gives a shit about the MLS right now. Not when it comes to Ballon d'Or. Respectfully, this is the Ballon d'Or. This is the top notch. This is the top drawer players in the top drawer leagues. And Ronaldo would have to win the Euros with Portugal to even be able to do it. And then you never know. But unless he wins with Portugal, there's not enough there to beat out Vinicius, who scored in the Champions League to win for Real Madrid, or Jude Bellingham, who's already done as much as he's done. But win with Portugal, then you never know. I mean, then it's the second Euro for Portugal, and then we're talking about a whole new subject at that point.
All I'm saying is I don't think anyone is expecting Portugal to win the Euros. So if they come in,
I'm rooting.
Okay, you're rooting, but you're not expecting. You said France.
Jose Mourinho and I are both rooting and believe that Portugal could win it.
If they come in, they win, and Ronaldo is doing
top goal scorer.
Yes, top goal scorer.
He'd have to be top goal scorer and man of the match for the Euro final. And they'd have to win the Euro final, and he'd have had to score in it. All that happens, sure.
Yes,
then you're in the discussion.
Because think about it. While Vinny is leading the charge, Vinny hasn't done enough, in my opinion, to be like, oh yeah, he has it in the bag. I think it is that much of the door wide open or left open.
I think we are both spoiled over Ballon d'Or winners we've seen in the past and the numbers we saw in the past. And we are not seeing those same numbers mimicked. But
the impact is still there, though. I understand that.
Yeah, and that's why. And then I think I think when we talk about everything he's done for the game too,
Yeah.
beyond the pitch, Vinny's my pick for right now. But again, if England win, Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
If Portugal win and Ronaldo goes crazy, sure.
No, I think that's solid. No one else really for me has made any noise. Mbappe, I don't think you put him in there. That would be absolute. He hasn't done anything. PSG should be winning Champions League.
I think you just don't give it to Mbappe because he's going to win it for the next 10 years after. Once he gets started at Real Madrid, that train's going to start rolling. He's going to get one. You know he's going to get a Ballon d'Or.
He has to win. And that's what I was saying with like the standard needs to be changed with Madrid, because if they win a Champions League and say a La Liga title, Mbappe has 18 goals with 7 assists, that's not Ballon d'Or to me. He needs to. What was Cristiano doing at Madrid? Come on, bless you. Like that's what we're talking about here. So that's what I'm expecting from him, and he needs to do that. Have that same energy that you have from KD.
But you know,
Otani,
with a team around that, he could put up crazy numbers. I'm not saying he's going to put up necessarily as great as Ronaldo or Messi, but he's going to put up some crazy numbers, or at least he's expected to.
Yeah.
And then if they keep winning and he's the poster boy, who you think's going to collect the French trophy?
Stop, bro. Chill.
Betting man.
No, I mean, really excited about these Euros, man. I think for me, like just watching the game, this is always the best part because you got every player, you know, playing with their brother, on the biggest stage, right? So, before we even, you know, finish up, I want to hear your take on who do you think is going to be leading from each group, the group stage, you know. In Group A, we got Germany, Scotland, Hungary,
and Switzerland. For me, Germany makes it out, host nation.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win tomorrow against Scotland.
Okay.
You know, I respect and I'm rooting for Andy Robertson. Carry that team with pride. But I think that Switzerland are also quite impressive and was actually one of my choices between them and Croatia when we were discussing the dark horse. I think Switzerland always has to be up there.
What is Zlatan?
Oh, no. That's Swedish.
Okay, okay. That's what he is.
Yeah. How about you? For Group A, do you see anyone outside of Switzerland and Germany?
No. Right? I mean, Germany shouldn't blow this. That's all I got to say.
Oh my gosh! If Germany failed to get out of Group A,
we've seen with them in the past.
Oh my god!
Struggling with like the lower teams.
Can't imagine with this much talent. Not with what we've seen from Wirtz. Not what we've seen from Musiala. I'm telling you right now, bold prediction. I give you my word. Germany is making it out of this group. They are not going to falter in Group A. There is too much talent, and there's not enough of the competition.
and they got the home backing, so I think that's also
exactly
pivotal.
Every day is a home game.
Okay, all right, I like that. Group B,
Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. Give me your top two. Group of death. In my opinion, group of death.
Here we go. All
right, speak your truth.
I say for me, the one that's already checked in, I can lock them in. I feel good about it, is Croatia. I think out of those, you know, 4, Croatia's the one that does every tournament. You know what you're getting with them. It isn't going to be a lackluster performance here, or it's every game they're giving it their all, and they got a pretty, you know, well coach and managed team. The second one is where you have a toss-up.
Ooh.
Because I think on paper, you could say Spain looks better than Italy. But the Italians Like this is kind of suited for them. You just said that Spain's already banged up, right? That's like, a shark smelling blood in the ocean.
This is where you and I are different. I got to be honest. I actually am going to put Spain to win Group B.
Woo!
Yeah. I think Lamine Yamal is going to impress. I think that outside of their center forward position, the rest of the team is pretty solid on paper.
Yeah.
And I think Croatia is going to come out of this. I think Italy are going to disappoint.
Okay.
I don't see enough talent as I did when they won the last time. They were an old team when they won. They won on defensive.
Yeah.
They could win again, but they're going to be my disappointments of the tournament.
Yeah.
Italy, for me, are going to be my disappointments. I don't see them likely to go far or even possibly out of the group. I know. I'm sorry. But it's just how it goes. Someone's going to have to disappoint in this group, and I don't know why. I don't believe in Croatia to fall.
So you're taking Spain and Croatia. I'm going Italy and Croatia.
Yeah.
I think Spain's going to drop the bag. I don't believe in those boys. We go to Group C. We got Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? I'll give you mine first, real quick. Knock them out.
Yeah.
England, obviously, I don't think they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot.
Not with that group.
There's no way. Exactly.
Not with that group.
You kind of mentioned it. I think the selection that Southgate made, it says a lot. There's no distractions on that team. No.
Very forward thinking.
Yes.
Very forward. Yes. Very attack minded.
Exactly. They're all well-rounded individuals. So I have faith of them just because these are like the grind them out games.
Yeah.
It's really like what country can really withstand just the pointless games sometimes when you have that lead, but you gotta make sure this country doesn't come back. I think England is stacked enough. We look at the depth chart.
So we both agree England take this Group C. But when you look at Slovenia, Denmark, and Serbia, right?
Yeah.
As a Man U fan, I'm expecting you to say Denmark. Højlund, with him and with Eriksen, they could shine. You really don't know, though. That's similar to Croatia. I know they work hard for their flag,
and that's what I was going to get at.
Yeah. I think Slovenia takes the bottom. I think it's a fight for that second place.
When has Denmark ever made noise to that extent? And I love Højlund.
Yeah.
And I love Eriksen, but those two aren't just good enough to.
Eriksen could surprise on set pieces, and Højlund works hard. I don't like Man U, but I do like how Rasmus Højlund plays.
I would
internationally he could surprise.
I would say Serbia.
Fair.
I think it's going to be England and Serbia. Just looking at, like I said, Højlund and Denmark. I don't think they don't have enough ground yet to be making that much noise, especially in a group like that, because Slovenia is no walkover either. They play a tough brand of football.
Not enough talent on the team to make through. Sorry.
No. I'm not saying make it through, but like they're gonna get banged around a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not gonna just be walkovers.
They'll be tough
every game
they'll
for the most part.
About it, but no, I don't think it's gonna matter.
Was it Group D next?
Group D: Poland, Netherlands, Austria, and France. Poland, I believe, has no Lewandowski.
This is easy. Netherlands and France.
Yeah. All right. So that. Yeah. All right. Kind of solidified that, right? Yeah. Who is there any chance Dutch make it first out of that group, or do France just take it?
It depends on how France approaches this tournament. They aren't looking more so to like dominate. I think it's like, can we survive long enough that our players are healthy? Because what do they always deal with?
The injury bug. If Mbappe and Griezmann stay healthy, I think that team goes crazy.
See what we're talking about here?
Mbappe's so happy, smile on his face every time since he's had that Real Madrid move.
Yeah.
And Griezmann always shines in
Big tournaments.
blue.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. For the club, for the country.
So you just have to look at that and go, yeah, I mean, I expect them to do what they do.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Netherlands. Gravenberch, Gakpo, Virgil.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of reason for me to want to see them do well.
Yeah.
But I think they get second in this group.
Okay.
Group E, Belgium, Slovakia, the motherland, Romania,
The motherland.
and Ukraine. Don't disrespect the country. I need to hear these top two right now. It's a tough one because Belgium, they always disappoint. I think this is where you see your dark horse. I think it could be this group too.
Ooh.
This group.
So what's Slovakia?
Would you not agree on paper? Everyone would consider Belgium a disappointment if they didn't get first place in this group.
No, I think you're expecting Belgium to make it out the group.
I'm expecting Belgium to get first in the group.
See, that's why are you expecting first?
Because you have Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. Ukraine, their best player is Zinchenko and Mikhail Mudryk. Shouldn't be enough. Romania, your best player is Dragushin. And he's solid defensively and he's strong. Not enough. And then Slovakia, personally, I don't know a lot of names off the top of my head. But Belgium, I know they've disappointed a lot, but you got Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku, who you tell us to not disrespect, and Trossard, and much more. That team should come out first in Group E. They should. But that's where my disappointment of the tournament, along with Italy, it's going to go to Belgium.
Yeah. I could see Belgium and Ukraine come out of this group. You know,
disrespect.
I'm sorry, brother, but keeping it real.
I respect it, and I think honestly, you know, it's kind of swinging back to the whole Chelsea situation. You know, Mudryk was actually starting to show a little bit brighter form, and for country, we could actually see him shine in this tournament, and that's a pretty solid group for Mudryk to shine on.
That's what I was going to get at when you brought up his name.
Yeah.
He needs something like this.
Yes, he does.
To get him going with Chelsea.
Yes, he does.
And this could be the tournament, right? Because the focus will be on him leading that attack and that charge and trying to get things going.
Yeah.
And we've seen before, players kind of find that footing in tournaments. I think of like James Rodriguez. He for Colombia, he, you know, kind of went pretty stupid, and that's why he got the backing for Madrid and getting that contract, right?
I get what you're saying, but do you think he can be able to carry the team? I've not seen that from him. I've not seen the mentality to do that. We'll see. Prove me wrong. In the final group F, Turkey, Georgia, Portugal, and the Czech Republic.
Ada.
I mean, we don't need to go too much into who we're getting to have first here.
Portugal, obviously. Right? Yeah. I mean, Cristiano's gonna make sure those boys are, you know, ready for everything. I'm interested.
They better be.
I'm interested to see what Bruno is gonna do.
Dive.
We've seen before, like, there's just been this back and forth for like, does Cristiano like him? Does he respect Cristiano enough? And now he's playing on the same level with him again.
They looked good in the friendlies. They looked good in the qualifiers.
Yeah, but that's
but you're sleeping on Jota.
And
Jota's going to be the one who's going to surprise. He is one of the breakout players, in my opinion.
I mean, he always shows up, right? But then you also got like Bernardo Silva. So it's like they just have
Felix,
like
Rafael Leao.
You know, they have talent. So
they got the talent.
I mean, they should definitely win the group. And then the second one, Turkey.
It's not my pick. I respect it.
Who are you going with?
I'm going with Czech Republic. Patrick Schick. He's a great striker coming out of the Bundesliga. Good form. He's going to lead that team to second.
Do you think it's going to be a tough race for Portugal? The Czechs kind of
No.
making some noise, or is it
No.
going to be a clean?
No, I really,
They
if
get
there was
to-
any team that I truly would like to expect 9 points from,
Yeah.
it's Portugal.
Okay.
Yeah. And if Belgium were in a disappointment, they should be expected to get 9 as well, but I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I think Belgium pulls out with 5. If things go well, maybe 7 points.
Okay.
But when I look at what Portugal has to deal with and the entirety of the team from defense all the way up to attack, should be a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Should be. But there's always that one. There's always that one that comes to disappoint. So, going from that just to a more positive outcome, let me ask you this. Give me your top 2 likely goal scorers, and then tell me who's first. Who's winning? Who's getting runner-up on the Golden Boot this year?
I mean, we got to look at form, I guess, right? And who's been, I guess, coming off a good season and consistent enough. You have to put Harry Kane up there.
Yeah.
I think he's a good choice for winner, but I think the age is going to play a part with him. You know, I think a lot of people think he's going to win it, but I think somewhere down the line, we're going to see why England needs that second man, you know, who can come in and be that super sub when Harry Kane can't do it. Because we clearly see he goes to Bayern and they don't win a title when they always win a title.
Oh, don't blame him for that.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So
don't do that.
While I do think he's going to score,
they lost to a team that never lost.
Hey. While I do think he's going to score goals, I don't know if it's going to be enough. And then my second one. See,
I'm waiting.
The fan in me wants to say Cristiano.
That's what I wanted to hear. Let's go. Manifest.
No. I want to say it. I do. And I'll say this. Cristiano will be the leading goal scorer in the Euros 2024 if Portugal gets far enough in a tournament. So hear me out. If they get to like top 4,
they got to get to semis,
and he's
sure
putting a good enough run, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And he's taking the penalties, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
if they get there,
I'm not confident in the answer, so I'm gonna go with Mbappe.
Yeah.
And I only say that because I think he's trying to show I'm coming to Madrid saying it's my team. I think the big issue is gonna be he's coming to Vinny squad or Jude squad.
Top goal scorer in so many international tournaments that feels like such an easy choice.
No.
It's such an easy choice to choose Mbappe.
Hear me out. Being like Madrid, for example, they always know at least who's the leading man on a squad.
Yeah.
So when Ronaldo was there, it was him. He was leading that charge with Benzema, Bale, everyone. Right? I think now you look at it, that's Vinny's team. That's Vinny's team.
Okay.
So when Mbappe comes over, are they all saying that's Mbappe's team now? Or is it, hey,
the best player on that team once Mbappe joins is Mbappe. So I think it's going to let the stats speak for themselves.
So here, okay. Vinny wins a Ballon d'Or. Jude wins a Ballon d'Or. Mbappe comes over, it's his team. He's the best player.
Jude hasn't won a Ballon d'Or yet.
I'm just saying. No. Be real.
I am being real. I'm telling you right now.
You just said those are your 2 likely
they are
winners
for this year.
And then in return, they just won a Champions League as well, right?
Which he'll do again.
And you let this, come in.
Yep.
And you say, you got it.
Yep. It's Mbappe, bro.
brother. I think you
have to, bro. You look at how hard they've been working to put him on that team for a reason. This has been the long-term goal to make that the number 9.
No. Hear me out.
For the new Galacticos.
Okay. I like looking at it and comparing this to basketball. So I look at it like this. KD comes over to Golden State. They all relinquish and say, you are the best player. He wins 2 finals MVPs. They win titles, right?
Right.
This is Mbappe coming over.
Yeah.
Okay, you are the best player. We know that. You lead the charge.
Yeah.
But then it's really on him.
Yeah.
So if they don't win, and I mean win, that's La Liga included. Barcelona shouldn't be making any noise. Atletico shouldn't be making any noise. I don't want to see Valencia up there. I don't want to see Seville. No one. Like, it needs to be Madrid winning year in and year out. That's the standard now. I'm sorry,
brother. It's going to be.
All right.
I think you know this. But that you're right. The standard is that high that it should be. But talent-wise, they have so much talent that even if half of the people there fail, they still will likely win first place.
Yeah.
That is just the pedigree that they are at now. Mbappe right now, in my opinion, is the best striker in the world. So he's joining the best team in the world, but he's the best striker in the world. And then if you said to me, hey, who do you want to build a team around? Do you want Vinicius? You want Mbappe? And all things considered, just on ball, I choose Mbappe. Mbappe is dynamic and everything considered. When he joins that team, that'll be Mbappe's Madrid.
Before we close this out, I got one more little question for you. Mbappe, right?
All right.
Madrid. We know that's the superpower right now. You look on the other side, there's Man City, and his counterpart has always been Haaland to this point.
Right.
Do you think the debate with them is going to be strictly who has more Champions Leagues at the end of the day now?
No.
Like, what are we valuing?
They play different. I think the hard truth is that Haaland is a great finisher of the ball. And in Pep's system, he's very good at being the last person to touch it into the back of the net.
Yeah.
But Mbappe will do more outside of just scoring goals for Madrid.
Yeah.
And I can't necessarily say the same for Haaland. He could be a target man, but overall, for how much he brings to the table, I still prefer Kylian Mbappe on my team. If I chose who I wanted to build the team around, I choose Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
I think Kylian Mbappe is joining a team with a lot around him.
Yeah.
But I think Manchester City's system could also still go on to do great things in the Champions League. They still could. But just looking at this year alone, I mean, if you wanted to just revert back to when we were talking about the Premier League, I'll take a step there, and I'll be the first to say that I think Phil Foden had a better season than Erling Haaland did this year.
100%.
And I don't think there's many who are going to disagree with me.
He won Player of the Year.
So at this point, I don't think we're even discussing that it's necessarily Mbappe versus Haaland. Maybe if we're going striker to striker, sure.
We have to, though, right? Because we live...
Until Darwizzi's ready.
Stop it. Nonsense. No, we have to because we live in a sport where it's always pushed by the competition.
Yeah.
And we live in the era of Messi and Ronaldo, right? There's always counterparts that are, just battling. So we want to see, obviously, Mbappe's the it boy. And then for me, it's the one that's forgotten and people just don't want to think about, but it's Haaland. Champions League, Premier League, and then he's always the golden boot. He's always the leading goal scorer. What more can you want and ask for from a number 9? Nothing. He's doing it. So this, what are we talking about here?
I think beyond that, though, like, he's the final finish. He gets the least amount of touches on the ball. If the team is not playing well, often Haaland goes quiet. I'm not blaming him, but that is how the actual system is working out at Manchester City. It's a usually flawless system.
And then we're given... All right.
I know you're salty. And that's fine. But you know deep down, I think that Mbappe does more on the pitch and offers more than Haaland can.
I'm just curious because, I do think this is going to be the two
Is this the GOAT debate for the next 6 to 8 years?
That's what we're trying to figure out. You know, Ronaldo's on his way out. Messi's on his way out.
Yeah.
Who's next up? And
Vinicius.
huh? So these,
Pretty
young
good
boys
season.
are coming up.
He's not putting up Messi and Ronaldo numbers, but for what he offers, who's better in that position than Vinicius? And for actual danger and what he can cause, the havoc, the chaos he causes on the pitch.
Did you see the pass he had to Endrick?
Nice.
Cross in, yeah, nasty.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Endrick had a nice finish, and Endrick will be good too.
So,
but I'm simply saying that if we're talking about the future GOAT talk for the next 6 to 8 years,
yeah,
I think it's Mbappe versus whoever's in form.
Okay.
But I think Haaland stays up there with Pep's system. But one thing that you're forgetting is, good job. He ended up getting the golden boot in the Premier League. I also saw, and I could be wrong on this, was it not like 13 goals less than he did the year before?
Yes. But
so, no,
we're
still great.
We're
still
nitpicking.
great.
We're nitpicking. But,
still great, but Mbappe.
Nah, we shall see. Haaland won't be in the Euros. But
poor Norway.
I mean, they never qualify for anything, so he can't make any noise.
But look at the team. I mean, you got him and Odegaard.
Yeah,
and that team
I know.
Can't make it.
And then you got Denmark with Højlund and Eriksson making it.
Somehow
it's a little weird.
Make it make sense.
But we'll see what Mbappe does. He can add to his legacy, right? World Cup, a Euro, will be crazy. But man, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. This Euro, the one nice thing is that I don't feel like there's any one team that sticks out more than any.
Yeah.
Other times, I looked at France and was really just automatically putting them polarizing, top-notch, ringleaders. But this time around, I think it really could be England's year. So we'll just have to see.
I mean, hopefully we can. You know what I'm thinking? Just thought about it, bro. Do a watch along.
Yeah, that would be nice. We definitely have to plan the watch along, but it's got to be for the right team so that I can be able to say I told you so.
I mean, I know you want England.
Yeah,
you're some type of matchup where they're playing Germany, some crazy game,
with a little history behind it.
I mean,
oh my,
that's what I'm thinking. But this has been a great episode, bro.
Yes, sir.
Episode 78, wrapping it up.
All right,
Jordon J. Will, Todd EP. Before we dip out though, you guys got to follow on the socials. Instagram is at the Best of Rivals. TikTok at the Best of Rivals as well. And then on Twitter, it's the Best of Rivals. Just make sure you show some love. Got the content dropping. Excited, bro.
Yes. One of the best tournaments. We're going to have a lot to be able to talk about coming forward, and make sure to stay tuned in.
We are out.